Hey, it's Richard with Matthews Wealth Management. Today we're going to be talking about Medicare. And I don't actively sell insurance at this point in my career, but in the past I've worked very closely with insurance agents that did specialize in Medicare, and whether that was the Advantage plans, the supplements, the prescription plans, all of that world. We're not going to cover that today. What I want to do is really just lay down the basics of what is Medicare. What is it that you've been paying into for your entire career, and what do they owe to you, and how does that system work? So back in the day, I used to have these factors and figures memorized, but not anymore. So I'm going to be using a cheat sheet here. So what I like to do is just take a look at the two major parts of Medicare one at a time and just kind of explain how they work and lay out what they're about. So the first thing that most people are familiar with is Medicare Part A. So Part A is actually just for the hospital system, okay? So this doesn't factor the people that are working inside of the world of hospital. This is just for room and board and any kind of medications, skilled nursing facilities, things like that are facilities based and when you're in inpatient care. So in the Part A hospital, once you hit age 65, you're automatically enrolled into Part A, and there is no more cost taken from a paycheck or from your checking account. So we're going to put that the premium here for you as the beneficiary is actually zero. Now that doesn't mean that there's a free lunch out there. The government actually has a hospital insurance trust fund that pays in to kind of copay your premium on the Part A for Medicare, and that last figure I remember was like $750 a month. So these things are very expensive. It's just you've been paying in your whole life. So from here on out, it's zero premium for Part A. So let's say that you are admitted into a hospital. What they do is they have a deductible. So the very first day that you hit the hospital, all the way up to day 60, it's just one flat fee, okay? And they call that the deductible. So for 1 to 60 days, that is $1,408. So if you just go in, you stay overnight, $1,408 is what you owe. If you go in and they keep you for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it's now 59 days or 60 days in, $1,408. It's the exact same price, okay? Now if you have to stay longer than the 2-month period, and we go from 61 to 90, now you're actually paying $352, and it goes to per day. So this goes very, very quickly. This number starts to grow. So that's basically half the cost of what we're looking at as a charged billable amount, because after you hit that 90, I'm going to go 91 plus. That jumps to 705 per day. So you can see this is some serious money if you're staying in the hospital longer than 60 days under Medicare Part A. Okay, so that's what you're responsible for. So let's talk about a skilled nursing facility. And typically this happens, let's say that you had a hip replacement or a knee replacement, and they need to put you into a skilled nursing facility, you do your rehab and everything. They're going to pay for the first 20 days. So you pay nothing. That's a very good price. And the whole idea is that you're going to continuously get better. If you stop getting better, Medicare quits paying. The whole concept of Medicare is acute care, not chronic care. So under the skilled nursing facility, if you're continuing to get better past that 20 days, from 21 to 100, you're back to a daily copay, and in this case it's $176 per day. So if you ever hear of like long-term care policies, short-term care policies, a lot of them start paying daily, and they try to coordinate with Medicare, and when Medicare stops paying, and you get the point. So anything after that 100 days, just to kind of mention that, you're paying all of it. And same thing, actually you can exhaust this at 150. I'm not going to get into details there, but you'll pay the additional, all of the costs associated with skilled nursing facility. However, it is incredibly rare to be getting better for 100 days. So just keep that in mind, that this doesn't really happen. At some point, they'll send you home, and you'll no longer be doing rehab. So that's part A. There's some other things like blood transfusions. You owe a certain copay per pint of blood and all this other stuff. But this is the stuff that people really need to know about part A and exactly what is not covered, what you're responsible for paying. So let's go to the other side of the coin here at part B. And what we're talking about here is doctors or people involved. This is how the doctors and the healthcare professionals get paid, and what they accept from Medicare and what they bill you for in excess. So part B does have a premium that you're going to pay per month, and that premium is based on your income. So the more you make, the higher you pay. But for most people, we're going to use the generalized $144.60 per month, which I'll take that, please. I would love to have that kind of health coverage, because if I'm on Obamacare paying $1,800 a month for my family, I'll take the $144 a month. That's nothing. So anyway, it comes out of your Social Security if you're drawing it, or you would pay that directly from your checking account. But that allows you to have Part B. So if you're still working after you hit 65, typically you'll go ahead and take Part A, and that becomes your primary. But you may not need the Part B, because if you have group coverage from your work, that's why it's important to work with an insurance professional or with a financial professional. Just figure out if you're going to continue to work, what steps do you need to take with the Social Security Administration when it comes to Medicare enrollment. So Part B, what are we covering? Doctors. You also have x-rays, lab work, that kind of stuff, that all those referrals, everything falls under Part B for billing there. Actually, some shots are administered Part B as well, but we won't dive into the details there. But the first thing is you have a deductible. Just like we talked about on the hospital. The deductible is going to be, you go and see any doctor for anything, and the very first, in 2020, we're at $198. You've got to pay it regardless. It doesn't matter what it's for. There are no copays or anything here. You just pay that $198. Again, that's not much, honestly. When you're paying that little bit per month, and then you've got to pay another $198 for your first doctor's visit, that's not a checkup type Medicare checkup, then that's not much. It's not bad. Like my deductible right now is $2,500, so I'd take that in a heartbeat. So after we hit the deductible, we go to what a lot of people are familiar with. You have the 80-20. Coinsurance is the technical term. So the Part B from Medicare will be paying 80% of the bill, and you will be paying 20% of the bill. It's really that simple. There's another piece to this that we're starting to see more of recently. After 2008 or 2010, you started to see a lot of these non-assignment charges. And what that means is that, let's say Medicare is going to reimburse a doctor $100 for a visit, and they say, that's not enough for me to pay my staff and keep the lights on. I'm going to need to charge extra. They can actually charge an extra 15% on top of what the original amount is, and you would be responsible for that. So you'd pay the 20, and then you'd pay that upcharge of 15%. So that used to be pretty rare. It's starting to become common. So if you have a doctor and you're going on to Medicare, it's worth asking them, do you accept assignment? That means, are you going to charge me more? Or are you just going to accept what Medicare will pay on the 80 and my 20? So hopefully that's pretty clear. So real quick, an example here. If you have your primary care doctor, we're going to go to a specialist. And then let's say we have a situation where we have back pain and it's diagnosed sciatica, and they've got to do all this injection and physical therapy and all those costs associated. Or we have bad heart and need heart surgery. Let's look at what this 20% looks like. I'm not going to jump into the 15, but if we have the heart surgery and the primary care specialist, etc. So primary care typically would be about 150 bucks. Specialist would be around 250. And these are assignment. This is what they would accept. So sciatica costs could be somewhere in the 10 grand. We'll just put K and keep it simple. And heart surgery is, you're probably aware, about 150 grand. So 20% of each of these. This looks pretty familiar. We got $30. Over here we have 50. Now we're getting into 2,000, and if you have that heart surgery, you are now on the hook for 30 grand on Medicare. So the thing that Medicare does not have, that your group coverage has, and that other types of plans out there have, is a maximum out of pocket. This is where you can really get hurt by just holding Part A and Part B. This is common. It looks like a copay, right? 30 bucks, 50. When you're getting into all the costs associated with sciatica and treatments and injections, maybe a lot of 250 copays would add up to the 2,000, but instead of it working as copay, you just pay 20%, right? So this is the real risk when you have a very large procedure or cancer. My goodness, you're in the millions of dollars for cancer. That really puts you out there. So I'm not going to get into the world of supplements and advantage plans and all that today, but that's for the insurance specialist. We're going to try to do another video down the road and bring in a guest to kind of go over how those plans work and specifically what you should be looking for, because there's no one plan fits all. It's all very customized, and that's why you should be working with professionals in all of these industries. But hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully that kind of dispels some myths. Part A is the hospital and the facility. Part B is the people involved and how they get paid. So join us next time. We'll hit another Medicare video down the road, but we'll see you then.